Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you pretty early this morning. It's like 5 a.m. doing this review, so it is pretty early, just so you know, for the new Soen album that I got a chance to check out for Memorial that I got a chance to listen to. It is coming out September 1st, so definitely check this album out at midnight on September 1st, of course, so another 18 hours from now. So, yeah, I'm reviewing it pretty early. But I'm going to discuss what I listened to for all 10 songs for Soen Memorial, their 6th studio album, and let you know my thoughts on this album overall. So, let's dive into this album review. Now, it starts with Sincere, and I actually really enjoyed this track. I think Joel's vocals in the track sound really good, and the progression with the drum work and guitar work is pretty awesome, so really like this track. So 5 out of 5. Then comes Unbreakable. That's one of my favorite songs for sure. I really like how the chorus comes in with the marching from the dead of the Unbreakable, or whatever lyric it was. I have to go back and listen to it again, but I really did enjoy this track for sure, from what I listened to. So 5 out of 5. Violence is a pretty good song for sure. Wasn't sure if I was going to like it at first because the verses were a little sluggish, but I think the chorus is very memorable and how it sounds, so 5 out of 5. Even though I have my critiques about this track a tiny bit, I just think the verses are probably solid, but the chorus is the best part of the track, so 5 out of 5. Fortress is solid. Not sure if I'm feeling for Joel's vocals in this track. I think it's alright. It's just how it sounds overall. It has its hits and misses in this track, so it's a good track in its own way. Just is solid in my opinion, so 4.5 out of 5. Hollowed has a featured artist. I think it has a parentheses called Eliza. I'm not sure, but I'd have to go back and really look into the title. It just says Hollowed when I looked it up on Wikipedia, and when I downloaded it this early morning, so I downloaded it about an hour ago. So basically, I'd give this a 4.5 out of 5. The vocals are not bad, it's just the melody is a little sluggish, and it has its good points and its weak points in certain aspects of the track with how it's sounding overall, but the melody is a tad bit sluggish, so 4.5 out of 5. Memorial is a strong track. Really enjoyed this song for what it went for, and I really think this was one of my favorite tracks for the title track itself, because it is the title track, and it sounds really good with Joel's vocals in it, and just drum work and guitar work is amazing, in my opinion. So 5 out of 5. Incendiary, if I'm pronouncing it right. Incendiary or something like that. I might be mispronouncing it, I'm not sure. Just let me know in the comment section below if I mispronounced it or not. I think this was a strong track. This track really impressed me with how the vocal delivery was from Joel, and just the instrumentation for the guitar work and drum work sounding really good, and the melody sounding pretty on point with the track. And I think they put out a pretty good song for track number 7 on this album. So 5 out of 5. I might be mispronouncing it. Tragedian, if I'm pronouncing it right. Yeah, Tragedian. Yeah, I'm sorry if I'm slurring and pausing with my wording and stuttering a bit. It's just I'm trying to pronounce it in the right way possible. It's a solid track. I just think some of the melody and how Joel's singing it at times feels a little off point, but I think with what I went for, it's a good track in its own way, just not one of my favorites. so 4.5 out of 5. Then comes Icon, one of the best tracks for the second to last song on the album, and I really enjoyed this track. It was really good, so 5 out of 5 for this one. The drum work, guitar work, and Joel's vocals sounding really on point with the track itself, and I really like the progression in this song with how it's sounding pretty heavy and the melodies sounding pretty good. So yeah, 5 out of 5 for Icon. And then comes the last song, Vitals, which is solid. I think the verses are iffy for me to like. I mean, it's very sluggish with how it's sounding. Piano work's nice, give it that. But my biggest gripe with the song is just the certain verses in the track just don't execute too well. Maybe like verse 1 and 2, it just feels a little slow, and then it starts picking up when the chorus comes in, and it sounds pretty nice. So I think Joel's vocals actually sound really good in this track. But yeah, there are some moments where the verses kind of speak for itself and in a solid way, meaning it just has its moments where it's good and bad. So 4.5 out of 5 for the last track. Don't hate it. It's a nice closing track. It's just not really something that's my favorite. So overall, production, mixing, and execution wise, I think Soen Memorial was a pretty good album. I was actually impressed with it for their 6th studio album. I didn't hear Imperial, but I do want to check it out in due time just to see what I think of it. But for a score for me, I'm giving Soen Memorial for their 2023 album a 8.5 out of 10. Pretty good album. Will be on my best albums of 2023. But in the next few months, you'll see that video come out at the end of December. But I think I really enjoyed this album for what it sounded like, and its execution was pretty on point. There were a couple misses, like least favorites, like Fortress, Hollowed, Tragedian, or if I'm pronouncing it right, I think it's Tragedian, if I'm pronouncing it. I might have pronounced it wrong, but I don't know. And Vitals was a nice closing track, but not something I'd really care to listen to all the time. So pretty much 8.5 out of 10 for Soen Memorial for their 6th studio album. Thank you guys for watching this album review.